This one happened a long time ago. I don't know if it counts as graveyard shift because it was around 10 or 11 that my personal experience happened, but here goes anyway. Where I went to college there is a legend surrounding the theater/art building about a girl named Margaret. Margaret supposedly committed suicide in the 70s for not getting a role she wanted in a play, or so the legend goes. Ever since then there has been all manner of crazy weird shit that goes on in that building. Cold spots, shit moving, doors slamming, even a few reports of an apparition. Spooky shit. In the beginning I was skeptical about the whole thing. Theater ghosts? Had to be a great big pile of bullshit. But then shit started happening to me that was unpleasant. My first experience was during a rehearsal in late August early September. I was working as a stagehand and had run off to grab something or another from the scene shop. Now, we had some big windows that let a little bit of the moonlight in, but not a lot. The thing about scene shops is that no matter what, if it's dark it is downright spooky. And you have to be very, very careful or you could end up tripping over something and getting hurt, or if it hadn't been swept properly sliding around on some sawdust and breaking your ass. And all the machines and piles of wood and shit cast some funny shadows, so when I saw something move behind one I was very quick to call it nothing, tell myself to stop being a pussy, and get the goddamn extension cord. So I unlock the cage and go for the cord when a box full of nails upends itself over my head. It didn't hurt or anything, but it was startling. I walked out and figured out who had been into the nails last and proceeded to give them shit about making sure things are completely on the shelf before dicking off. Apologies were given and accepted, and I didn't think anything of it and went on about the rest of the rehearsal. The rest of the run for the play we were doing went off without a hitch. No weirdness, nothing falling, all was well and good. Between shows we had about a week and a half break before the next one started where we were all encouraged to catch up on our homework. The theater was treated like a professional goddamn operation, so everyone fell behind during performances. The next show we started working on in late September-ish, and it was going to be the big Christmas show the school put on every year. This is when shit really started to turn weird for me. I was working on building the set during the day, afternoon and at night I was rehearsing because I had actually been cast this time around. I ignored the cold spots and just assumed it was because we were getting into autumn and the building was fucking ancient. One afternoon myself and a few other students were cleaning up to prep for rehearsal when a big, large iron weight used to keep ropes and stuff up, fell from the fly rail. The fly rail was about 40 or 50 feet off the stage. So this huge hunk of iron just crashed into the stage, fell in so deep we couldn't get it out. 4 feet to the left and it would have downright killed one of the students. There was, of course, nobody up there at the time. This is the last experience I had with Margaret and it is why I dropped out and changed majors the next semester. The Christmas show was entering its final weekend. We were all very excited for the big cast party/end of semester party/Christmas party that the kids in the department threw every year. The weirdness had really thrown itself into overdrive, too. Cold spots were everywhere, nothing was ever where you put it, and that iron pig was still stuck in the stage. I understand it was pried up by maintenance and the stage repaired over the holiday break. On one of the last nights of the run a light nearly fell into the audience. I don't have to tell you that a hot, heavy stage light crushing an old lady in the front row is bad for business. I was off stage during that portion of the performance so I only heard about what happened. As I hear it told during some monologue or something the light that was on the actor dropped so it was pointing straight down, and then the light just fell about halfway down. The only thing that kept it up was the plug, which our lighting guy had wrapped around one of the catwalk supports. A light falling into the audience was his greatest fear. He was, of course, very quick to shimmy up and he reattached it before anyone really figured out what had happened, but the old lady that got briefly spotlighted was comped 2 tickets for another show just in case. But the reason I left the department, and that entire career path behind me is because of what happened on the last night. We had just wrapped up, taken our cast pictures, and we had all changed out of our costumes and back into our civilian clothes. It was pretty late. and everyone was itching to get to this party that was going on. The stage manager, a real nice senior who had been sort of helping me on the behind-the-scenes stuff, realized a pretty important piece of a costume had been left downstairs. Being the good guy I am, I offered to run it upstairs, so I dash upstairs with this costume piece and go to leave it in the costume shop for someone else to deal with later. Now, everyone had told me since my first day on campus that Margaret liked to hang out on the same floor as the costume shop. Convinced that this was bullshit, I had gone upstairs alone, which was a stupid decision. At the end of the hallway there was this girl. My age, late teens, early 20s, not bad looking. She was wearing a flowing dress, like a ball gown or something. It was super nice. I thought it had to be one of the other actors or maybe the kid of one of the blue bloods that had come to the show. For a small-town college theater we drew a lot of people with money, had gotten lost or decided to disappear for a quick cocaine pick-me-up. I meekly say hello and raise my hand. The girl turns around and she was just awful. It looked like someone had just crushed her face in with a hammer. I very gingerly put the costume piece on top of the nearest locker, the hall was lined with them, and began to back away. And this thing just tilted its head, and all the locker doors start to shake like crazy. One or two of them popped open. Just awful. I don't know what else would have happened because I noped out of there as fast as I could. I never really told anyone about it, and at the beginning of the next semester I changed majors, and by the end of that semester I dropped out. The entire school just creeped me out after that.